Lines across the area, meaning if you've been doing some gardening, plants that are out early, especially the that are sensitive to those temperatures down at the frost level. Anything tropical, that's inside tonight, absolutely. And even some of the early vegetable gardens. That's why the old adage is to wait till Memorial Day to plant those. We'll have a nice finish to the week after tonight. Rain this weekend, the timing is still shifting around a little bit as to when exactly the steadiest route of rain will be moving through. Right now, we're talking about the chills. Some 50s out there, cool, very dry air in place across New England and New York State. Dew points in the teens and low 20s. That is really dry for this point in the season. In fact, it's so dry that we might get these cold temperatures without a whole lot of on the ground, not enough moisture to actually freeze on some of the grass and some of the plants. The wind will be key tonight. It's very gusty outside. We should keep that breeze through at least midnight tonight. And then as we head toward tomorrow morning, the wind will start to weaken. And so that's when temperatures bottom out. You get radiational cooling, all that colder air pools near the surface. It looks like the interior valleys will have the least wind and the coldest temperatures, and will likely hold on to a bit of a breeze right along the coastline. Slightly milder, about 38 in Cohasset, 36 in Braintree, and 40 in Boston. Cape Ann. Once you head inland, though, we're looking at those freezing temperatures. In fact, some 20s will show up in those interior coldest spots. Some of the valleys will feature those 20s, and down to southeastern Massachusetts, even some of the Cranberry Bog areas into the upper 20s tonight. I do think we'll hold on to that breeze along the South Shore to Cape Cod and the islands, so staying above freezing in those towns. Record-wise, we're looking at about 40 in Boston, 36 in Worcester, just above records for the date. And in terms of what you need to do, you cover up the plants, cloth, not plastic. You can water them. They need like us when it's really dry. Add some mulch as well. And again, you just kind of get through tonight with those really cold temperatures out there. Then tomorrow, we're looking at a rebound. Lots of sunshine expected. It'll round into a really nice day. Still a little breezy, but much lighter than today. We'll be up into the 60s. So Thursday looks to be a really pleasant one to be outside. A little cooler on the south coast. Even more of a bounce on Friday. It'll be another chilly morning, but a nice afternoon well into the 60s and some lower 70s as we wrap up the week. So Friday, no issues out there. Then we head towards Saturday in that next storm system. I mentioned the timing is still moving around a little bit. Right now, it looks like we may get some showers during the day with some steadier rainfall arriving more toward the evening and the overnight. I'd give this one more day to marinate if you're thinking about changing plans around to see exactly where this timing ends up landing. And on Sunday, we'll be damp early, but then clearing out. And it'll be much warmer on Sunday into the upper 70s. So Saturday, it looks to be the wetter of the two weekend days. How much can we be talking about here? Maybe a half inch to an inch or even an inch and a half of rain if everything comes together. We absolutely need this rainfall because it's probably the only chance. Into 10 days. We'll be right back to the dry weather heading into next week. Looks a little cool to start the week and then a warming trend. And right now it looks dry. We're right on through Memorial Day weekend. We'll be watching that next. David and Lisa.
Hey, got a lot on your plate there, Eric. All right, thank you. Well, all month long, we're celebrating Asian American and Pacific Islander heritage.
Coming up next at 6, meet the women leaders in the State House helping give a voice to the Asian community in Greater Boston.
Look, people are talking about Ultimate Summer Pass from TXU Energy.
I can see why. 50% off energy charges all summer is huge.
Yep. There's lots to love about these savings.
Plus, free energy on the hottest days means even bigger savings guaranteed.
With Ultimate Summer Pass, hot days are always the coolest days.
How'd that get in there? Should have seen that coming.
Yeah. TXU Energy. Energy for everything.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can do the things that make summer, summer. Like getting ice cream, movie nights.
I'll keep it down.
Hiking with the besties, catching sunsets, or just plain catch.
Go long.
Did you know that every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care? A 2-year or 25,000-mile maintenance plan and roadside assistance. That's the value you can expect from Toyota.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
Summertime pool time. Gotta stay cool time. Shopping specs online. Order up a chilled wine. Craft for your beer stein. Spirits and a peace sign. Spec selection is the key. Savings bigger than a tree. Spirits beer for summertime cheer. Specs. The fun starts here.
For nearly 70 years, Standard Insurance has provided strength, protection, and savings for its neighbors and friends in all of the great state of Texas. Our cities and towns come in all shapes and sizes with varied locales, scenery, and ways of life. But no matter where you are, Standard Insurance is there also, ready to serve and help you save. Call Standard. Call Standard today.
We all have those 48 hours cases we just can't forget.
After 35 seasons, we've seen it all.
She absolutely caused the death of this boy.
He pointed a gun to me and said, "This is the day you die."
The confessions, the lies.
Should we call 911?
And what did you say?
I think she'll be fine.
Because of this case.
That crime scene was just evil.
You can't unsee that.
Stream the most memorable 48 Hours episodes and the entire catalog of cases on Paramount Plus.
They are Asian trailblazers who paved the way for women to run for city and state office.
And as we celebrate AAPI Heritage Month, WBZ's Tiffany Chan introduces us to the women in our community and who were honored today.
Inside the Great Hall of the State House, a crowd gathered around one woman affectionately known as Auntie Helen Chin.
I was one of the very few.
One of the only Asian American women on Beacon Hill when Chin started working in the Speaker's office in 1950. She's now celebrated and respected for her 50 years in public service. Asian voices in both philanthropy and politics. Chin says times have certainly changed since she roamed the halls of the State House.
I mean, that's what my mother taught me to be. Be invisible. Put your head down and keep working. But now, Asians are becoming much more visible.
She's one of the many Asian trailblazers honored at the State House Wednesday.
When the Asian American community thrives, Massachusetts thrives.
As the governor, lieutenant governor, and Asian lawmakers recognized AAPI, Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Before Boston Mayor Michelle Wu rose to prominence, Suzanne Lee was one of the first Asian women to run for city council in 2011, representing Chinatown and South Boston.
Asians are still small in number, so we have to do things to make ourselves visible, because otherwise our issues with our workers, immigrant families are not heard.
She lost the District 2 seat by less than 100 votes, but paved the way for women who look like her to run for office.
We stand on the shoulders of giants, right?
These giants inspired Somerville State Rep Erica Eiderhoven to campaign, knowing Asians needed more representation on Beacon Hill.
There was no one who looked like me when growing up to have as models that I could someday become a state rep.
But now, more than 70 years after worked in this historic building, times have changed drastically.
We still have a long way to go.
From the State House in Boston, I'm Tiffany Chan, WBZ News.
And it makes such a difference to see people who look like you in those positions. It just opens up a world of possibility.
There's no question. You could see with that last woman there, it was a goal because of what she had seen before her, which is great. We'll be right back with more news.
It's finally here.
Took you long enough?
The moment you've been waiting for. The movie critics and audiences love is now streaming on Paramount Plus.
You can't deny the people what they crave.
Oh, we got him now! It's fairly wonderful. Oh, I got a good feeling about this.
Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, rated PG-13, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Hey, get away.
Your guys' garage is on fire.
10 years ago, I invented the Ring video doorbell for moments like that. And Ring for moments like this.
We've got you on
video. And Ring alarm with professional monitoring.
Would you like for us to go ahead and send the police?
Yes.
10 years of reinventing home security and tens of millions of safer homes. Protect your home the way I do. Learn more at ring.com.
Living with eczema, we're used to this feeling. It's time your skin gets used to a different one with Opzelura. For the treatment of mild to moderate eczema, Opzelura is proven to clear skin and significantly reduce itch fast. Opzelura is an on-the-spot cream applied directly to your eczema to help your skin feel less itch, less irritation, and more relief. All without steroids, pills, or injections.
Opzelura can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB or hepatitis B or C. Serious lung infections, skin cancer, blood clots, and low blood cell counts occurred with Opzelura. In people taking JAK inhibitors, serious infections, increased risk of death, lymphoma, other vascular events have occurred. The most common side effect was the common cold.
Discover the feeling of relief at your fingertips with Opzelura, a cream that helps calm itch and clear skin. Ask your dermatologist about Opzelura today.
Speedy Cash has been lending customers a helping hand since 1997. Today, it's even more convenient. Just call us, and we'll help you complete your application over the phone. Call, click, or come in to Speedy Cash.
Love that Speedy Cash.
Speedy customers a helping hand since 1997. Today, it's even more convenient. Just go online for fast cash anytime, anyplace. With secure, easy access, apply today at speedycash.com.
Love that Speedy Cash.
Pac-Man does it like a snack man. Wonderful pistachios. Get cracking.
Thanks for being with us tonight. The CBS Evening News.
We update breaking news all the time on our streaming service, CBS News Boston. We hope you have a great night. See you back here at 11 o'clock.
Good night. Go Seas.
What are folks 60 and older up to these days?
Getting inspired.
Volunteering.
Playing pickle.
These Reese's Cups are now filled with Reese's Puffs, which begs the question, how much Reese's is too much Reese's? But who's begging that question? Try Big Cups. They're stuffed with more stuff.
Good old days.
It's not like the good old days.
It's not like the good,
It's not like the good old
days.
Stop parroting everything. Instead, drink a Red Bull and think for yourselves.
Since when do you dictate what we do?
Exactly. You're not the boss of us.
Power to the people!
Oh, well. Individuality often complicates.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Ziploc bags are designed to save you at least $170 a year by wasting less produce. Ziploc storage bags keep strawberries fresh up to 2 times longer. Ziploc. Unlock life.
Now, live on WBZ TV. Streaming on CBS News Boston. This is WBZ News.
Well, tonight we know exactly what an ethics investigation uncovered that drove U.S. Attorney Rachel Rollins to announce her resignation. One of the reports ended with a recommendation that President Biden take action against her. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Lisa Hughes.
And I'm David Wade. That won't happen now that she has resigned, but there could consequences for Rollins. We've been combing through the hundreds of pages of the ethics reports. The investigations found that Rachel Rollins tried to influence the primary for the Suffolk County DA's election by coordinating with the candidate, Ricardo Arroyo. She's also accused of leaking confidential information to reporters, ignoring ethics guidelines when she went to a fundraiser featuring the First Lady, and soliciting and accepting dozens of free Celtics tickets.
We have team coverage tonight, beginning with WBZ's Beth Germano, who spoke with one mentioned in the report, Ricardo Arroyo. Beth?
Well, and like many, he tells me he has yet to fully read the 155-page report, which does provide fresh insight into Rollins' abrupt resignation announcement yesterday. It has stunned many who call her a trailblazer, but is now accused of abusing her office and position.
So I just want to start by saying this is incredibly sad.
The reaction from Boston City Councilor Ricardo Arroyo to a scathing set of ethics investigations against U.S. Attorney Rachel Rollins. Among the findings, that she tried to influence the campaign for Suffolk County District Attorney, Arroyo apparently her favored candidate over Kevin Hayden. There were at least 3 phone calls and more than 380 texts, including telling Arroyo, "This job needs a leader. He's a buffoon. You saw him try to public event, get away from me, scrub." And that she leaked potentially damaging information to news outlets to sabotage Hayden's campaign, allegedly lying under oath when questioned. According to the reports, she used her position as U.S. Attorney and information available to her in an ultimately unsuccessful effort to create the impression publicly before the primary election that the Department of Justice was or would be investigating Hayden for public corruption.
Did she try to influence the outcome of the election?
I haven't read the report, so I can't actually speak on any of the details.
But did you exchange text messages with it to her? Did you exchange
to Rachel a number of times about your campaign? About everything. I've talked to her about life, I've talked to her about family, I've talked to her about the campaign.
Among the report's other findings, that she also used her position to obtain 30 Celtics tickets for youth basketball players, keeping 2 for herself, and may have violated federal law when she attended a private Democratic fundraiser for First Lady Jill Biden. Governor Healey would only say she hasn't read the report.
The U.S. Attorney's Office is strong. There are so many great people who are working in that office.
the Constitution of the United States?
Rollins made history as the first woman of color to serve as the top in Massachusetts with a progressive approach to transforming the criminal justice system. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu also reserving comment.
I've known her to be a strong leader in our city on many, many issues.
Now, her attorney said in a statement today, Ms. Rollins moved from being an elected official with virtually no restrictions on her activities to the highly regulated environment of the U.S. Attorney's Office. Most of the allegations amount to minor process fouls. Former U.S. Attorney Donald Stern is also saddened that Rollins was a fresh and important voice. She hands in her resignation on Friday. Reporting live from outside the federal courthouse in Boston, I'm Beth Germano, WBZ News.
Beth, thank you. All right, so what happens now? Could the investigations lead to sanctions or repercussions for Rollins? We know she's going to be leaving her position. WBZ Chief Investigator Cheryl Fiandaca, who is also a lawyer, is looking at that tonight. Cheryl?
Well, have been sent to the president for action. But as you pointed out, since Rollins plans to resign as a federal employee this week, that would end the possibility of any disciplinary action.
This alleged conduct is disturbing, to say the least.
Massachusetts U.S. Attorney Rachel Rollins now facing allegations about her own conduct in 2 scathing federal investigations that found she leaked sensitive Department of Justice information to journalists, lied to investigators, and violated the law by going to a Democratic fundraiser to meet Jill Biden.
Total up to what one might call abuse of power.
George Brown is the former chair of the Massachusetts Ethics Commission.
I think when you get in those kind of high offices, there's a feeling that you can kind of get away with stuff that ordinary people maybe can't.
The 155-page Inspector General's report says Rollins was interviewed under oath and lacked candor. Blamed her staff for her own ethics failures that the IG called deeply disturbing, exercised and violated ethics standards by going on paid trips that were not disclosed or approved.
The IG is exceptionally harsh in their condemnation of her conduct.
Equally harsh was the special counsel's report that blasted Rollins for meddling in the Suffolk County District Attorney's race, calling her actions among the most egregious transgressions of the law and an extraordinary abuse of her authority. That case has been referred to the president for appropriate action.
It's clear what, if any, sanctions will be laid down and by whom. One might say she's paid the ultimate price. She's resigned a very prestigious public office under a very serious cloud.
And while it appears Rollins cannot be disciplined for the violations, this investigation could lead to rewriting of federal policies and guidelines.
It sounds like there's more to come. Cheryl, thank you. And as new details emerge in this case, stay with WBZ and CBS News Boston for updates. You can also download the free WBZ app to watch us anytime.
All right, now to a next weather alert for temperatures that are going to drop down to freezing, maybe even below freezing. Many of us could wake up to frost tomorrow morning.
Yeah, these cold temperatures will have a serious impact on our plants and flowers. We want to get right to our chief meteorologist, Eric Fisher. And Eric, how long are we talking with this cold?
Well, tonight it'll be the coldest night, certainly. We're talking about chilly air mass, kind of felt like day. Right now we're in the 50s for most of the region. The air is bone dry. Dew points are in the teens and 20s. In fact, it's so dry that we might have a freeze tonight, meaning temperatures below freezing, but without frost formation because there isn't any moisture to work with to actually form some of that ice. So we have freeze warnings up basically everywhere that's west of 128. Once you're inside of 128, a little bit more of a breeze, and that will keep temperatures a little bit milder, relatively speaking. Everyone else under that freeze warning. And the wind's really the key. It's been gusty this afternoon. We'll keep a breeze till at least midnight tonight. It's what happens after midnight that will how cold it gets. As we get toward the start of the day tomorrow, we'll have still a little bit of wind out there, especially right near the water. Interior valleys, the wind will be slackening off, and that's where we'll have our coldest spots. So we're looking at about 36 over towards, say, Manchester and Gloucester, 38 in Cohasset, 40 in Boston. We are getting near or below freezing as soon as you head off toward the west. Some 20s in many of those interior valleys. And the same story in southeastern Massachusetts. Some of those typical sandy soil cold spots could dip down in the 20s. So we'll talk about what coming up in the full forecast in a couple minutes. Lisa?
All right, Eric, we'll see you then. It is going to be high energy at the Garden tonight as the Celtics take on the Miami Heat in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. It has not been an easy road. In the first round of the playoffs, it took 6 games for the Celtics to beat the Hawks, and they had to play 7 in round 2 to knock off the 76ers. But those victories now put the C's 4 wins from a trip to the NBA Finals.
WBZ Sports Director Steve Burton is live for us at the Steve, my heart can't take going to 7 games again. Let's wrap this one up quickly.
Yeah, but when does that ever happen, right?
Never.
No. You can't wrap things up quickly with this team. Yeah, never. Exactly. I got to show you guys something, though. It's pretty cool. Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla. This is what, 3.5 hours before the game, and he's playing pickup basketball. Okay, that's how he stays loose for this big game tonight. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Yes, Celtics let a couple winnable games slip away in the last series against the Sixers. They cannot afford to let that happen tonight against the Miami. It was the Heat that knocked off the, top-seeded Milwaukee Bucks, so do not sleep on Miami, folks, at all. This is a live look at the green T-shirts draped over every seat that the fans will get tonight. Unfinished business, it says. That's been the theme for the C's in these playoffs. They got to take care of business tonight. C's had a shoot-around in Brighton this morning. Marcus Smart was staying loose, practicing his trick shots. Hey, you never know what you'll have to do to win at this point of the season, right? Robert Williams is expecting the Heat to be a tough out.
They're a great team, great players. Got a couple of stars over there. And we got in a couple battles with them, as we know, last year and then even during the regular season. So it's always a tough fight.
Hi, Danny Roach joins me now. And Roachy, how do you see this series unfolding?
It'll unfold, Steve. I'm done predicting
what
these
a
two
safe
teams.
way to do it, Danny.
Let's tell you, though, these two teams have met The regular season, 2-2, each winning twice. They haven't played those since late January, so they don't really know each other. It's almost 5 months ago. A lot has happened for each team since then. Now, the Celtics beat the Heat in last year's Eastern Conference Finals, winning Game 7 in Miami. Tonight, these two teams start another chapter in their playoff rivalry, their third meeting in the last 4 years. Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra is embracing the matchup.
We have great respect for them. Had some really good battles, with them. That all ends up being in the past, so it's good for the fan bases. I think there's good narratives for all of you. But we have a big task that we want to get accomplished this season, this postseason, and Boston's, in our way.
Spoelstra was in the shoes of Joe Mazzulla, who's 34 years old, going into the first playoff run. Steve, I thought he showed a lot in that second series against the Sixers, so I think it's the players play. If they make shots, they make shots. If they don't, they lose.
It's just that simple. Celtics cannot afford to let Game 1 get away. Lisa and David, much more coming up in sports. Back to you.
They're going to win tonight.
Yeah, feel great about this.
They're going to win tonight.
Home court.
I know you guys are a little negative. Little negative out there, I know, but they're going to win.
We're going to bring you back.
What? Okay, bring us back.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
A spokesperson says that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were involved in a dangerous chase with the paparazzi in New York last night.
But not everyone seems to agree with that description. Coming up, what police sources are telling CBS News.
Shot that can protect you for years. Dr. Malika looks at the universal vaccine that's in the works.
WBZ's Next Weather Alert is brought to you by Safety Insurance.
We had a 6-hour layover in Rome, which was just enough time to tour the ruins. If skip the line. When in Rome, do not waste any time. One app, over 300,000 travel experiences you'll remember. Do more with Viator.
Migraine hits hard, so you hit back with Ubrelvy. You put it all on the line. One dose of Ubrelvy quickly stops migraine in its tracks.
Take with strong CYP3A4 inhibitors. Most common side effects were nausea and tiredness.
Ask about Ubrelvy, the anytime, anywhere migraine medicine.
All the ways to have a Whopper could unite the nation.
No matter if you like Impossible or double bacon.
We can agree there's a Whopper for you. 200,000 ways, boom, there's the proof.
You like to have your Whopper with cheese. No onion, extra pickle, they'll do that with ease.
No matter how you want your Whopper today, with all these options you can have it your way.
You roll your season today.
Welcome to the pasta party!
1, 2, 3.
Making new traditions.
Keep going.
Sharing old stories. Homemade pasta.
Enjoy, cheers to us, we did it!
And a nice cold Coke.
Okay, ready? 1, 2. Well done.
That's my recipe for magic. Out there. We brought it back with us.
Yellow Jackets, only on Showtime. Streaming with Paramount Plus. You're watching WBZ News.
2 law enforcement sources are telling CBS News tonight no one was in danger, as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were followed by paparazzi in New York last night. But that's not what a spokesperson for the royals is claiming. He says that Harry and Meghan were chased for 2 hours in a wild pursuit that they claim could have been catastrophic.
Now, obviously, that description is reminiscent of the circumstances surrounding Princess Diana's death. But as CBS's Michael George tells us, it is not entirely clear what happened last night.
Megan and her mother stepped out Tuesday night in Manhattan for the Ms. Foundation's Women of Vision Awards. But afterwards, they say paparazzi hounded them so much it resulted in a, quote, near catastrophic car chase.
This will have been an extremely distressing incident for both of them.
According to a spokesperson for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, the relentless pursuit lasting over 2 hours resulted in multiple near collisions involving other drivers on the road, pedestrians, and PD officers.
It sounds as if they got in a taxi and were possibly en route to stay with a friend of theirs they were staying with privately. There were up to 6 cars involved.
I thought that was a bit reckless and irresponsible.
New York City's mayor weighed in on the incident and connected it to the death of Harry's mother, Princess Diana, who was killed in a car crash in 1997 while being pursued by paparazzi in Paris.
I think all of us, I don't think there's many of us who don't recall how his mom died. It would be horrific to lose an innocent bystander during a chase like this, and something to have happened to them as well.
In a statement that seems to downplay the incident, the New York Police Department said photographers made the couple's transport challenging and added there were no collisions, injuries, or arrests. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Probably not the last we've heard about that as the descriptions change. Today, as pretty as it looks outside, cool and windy.
Yeah, nice blue skies, though.
Beautiful.
Really enjoyed that. Now, we had the big debate in the newsroom. Which flowers need to come in, which ones, and most of us don't even know what kind of flowers we have.
All right, so step
what do we do?
one is reading the tag when you go to the garden center.
Oh, yeah, I still have the tag from 3 months ago.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Yeah, so tonight, if it's an annual, which means something that dies every year, summertime, and then in the fall, frost comes and it goes away. Those are the plants that are most sensitive. The perennials, the things that come back every year, they can generally take a night like this. So a cold night tonight, frost and freeze warnings are in effect. We've got a nice finish to the week after we get past tonight, and we're watching the rain timing for this weekend still shifting around a little bit and still not completely nailed down for Saturday and Sunday. Out there this afternoon, yes, it is crisp outside in the 50s. The wind's been gusting around 30 miles per hour at times, and the wind will stay up for at least half the night tonight. You can see that cool air right over New England and the Northeast. All the warmer stuff are south and west for the time being. So I mentioned the wind being critical because the wind keeps the atmosphere mixed. And when you lose some of the wind, well, then all the cold just sinks to the surface and collects there. And that's where you really bottom out. We call that a radiational cooling night. So as we approach midnight, there is still a breeze. As we move after midnight, that's when the breeze starts to weaken. And as we get towards sunrise, it looks like the last spot still remaining with the breeze will be right near the coastline, which is why the temperature should be a little bit milder near the water. So we're going for about 36, still chilly in Manchester. Boston down to around 40 and 38 in Cohasset. Once you head, you're down around freezing in Waltham and Billerica. Maynard down to 30 degrees. Medfield around 31. Should find some 20s in places like Peterborough and Gardner, Lunenburg, Rutland, very cold areas. In the Merrimack Valley, again, lower elevations. This is where you'll find the coldest readings. And that includes some of the Cranberry Bog areas in southeastern Massachusetts, staying above freezing near the water and across Cape Cod and the islands. That's where we'll keep more of a breeze overnight tonight. In terms of records, not record-breaking, but close, a few degrees above the back in 2002 for both Boston and Worcester. So what do? Well, you can cover up those plants that are sensitive with a cloth, not plastic. You want to water, make sure they're hydrated, just like us. And you can add a little extra mulch, or you can bring some of these plants inside if they're in pots. Any sort of vegetable garden plants, it's not a cold crop vegetable. Basil is a very sensitive herb. Any tropical plants, they got to be inside on a night like tonight. Then tomorrow, we're going to rebound. We'll be well into the 60s during the afternoon. Sunshine expected. It will round into a pretty pleasant day, a little cooler on the south coast and the Cape. Friday, even more of a bounce. After another pretty chilly night, we'll find some 60s and 70s to wrap up the week. Lots of sun expected. Then we'll turn our attention to that rainfall. So here's the latest on that. It is still moving around. I think we're going to need another day to let this marinate before we get a focus. There might be a couple showers earlier on Saturday. At this time, it looks like late Saturday into Saturday night may be our best chance for some steadier rainfall. And then after maybe a damp start on Sunday during the day. So right now it looks like upper 60s with developing rainfall on Saturday. Sunday will turn much warmer, well into the 70s as skies clear out. And then Saturday is really the only rain through all of next week. So Saturday we're trying to maximize, even though it's on a weekend, what we can get out of this storm system. David and Lisa, back to you.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you, Eric. Well, kids who live in foster care often have to deal with heartbreak.
But it doesn't get this girl down. Coming up. Today's child, Eileen, and the joy she would bring to a forever family.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can go out and do all the things that make summer, summer. Like getting ice cream.
I'll keep it down.
Hiking with the besties. Catching sunsets. Or just plain catch. Go long.
Did you know that every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care? A 2-year or 25,000-mile maintenance plan and roadside assistance. That's the value you can expect from Toyota.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
Microsoft Edge browser comes with AI tools to help you make the best. Oh, that was easy. Let cutting-edge features find you deals. How will you shop and save with Edge?
Hershey's milk chocolate with whole almonds makes for a wholly amazing, wholly delicious experience that's, well, wholly Hershey's.
Around here, we like to keep things simple and honest.
Sure do. That's why at Progressive, we show you rates from other companies lower than ours, so you can choose what's best for your family.
Comparing rates used to be a hard day's work, but not with AutoQuote Explorer.
Need me to help again?
No.
So join us and taste why Progressive is the name people trust. Sorry, are we talking about apples now or insurance? Why is that funny?
Subway just keeps getting better. Break it down, Candace.
They got world-class bakers, tastiest bread yet. This truly makes the Subway series a dream team. You know about that, Chuck.
Yeah, I was the bread of that team, too. Try the Subway series menu. Their taste has refreshed yet. The Subway series is getting an upgrade. The new number 19, the Pickleball Club. Who knew the Subway series could get even better? Me. I knew. Maybe you should host a commercial then. Sure, okay. Subway series just keeps getting better.
Breaking news right now. I want to show you live pictures. You can see firefighters in Dorchester right now. They're putting out a brush fire that broke out behind the JFK Library. And you can see that charred area right there. It seems that they have the upper hand here, but it's just a reminder with these very dry conditions and the winds. You see the library there in the upper part of your screen. There is a high fire danger.
All right. Child, a teenager who's living in foster care.
14-year-old Eileen has a lot of joy and creativity to offer a new home and family. And WBZ's Levin Reed has her story.
Every day is a golden chance to get to know someone.
Could you wave into the camera for me?
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
And it's easy to become acquainted when you're making macarons together.
If you want to switch, you let me know, and then you can just yell at me as I try and get it done.
You want to try?
Yeah, I want to try.
14-year-old Eileen has a lot to give. She's all about the 2F.
Family means a lot to me. I have a lot of friends that I consider them family, and I like to just do a lot of stuff with my friends and family.
And in finding that forever family, Eileen and her social worker, Cheryl Ann, are in lockstep.
It makes my job easier to be able to help her find her forever home. Because we build a trusting relationship. She's able to talk with me about what she wants in a family.
Eileen loves to smile, and she's extremely creative. During a recent made a t-shirt that focuses on a poem about foster care.
Hi, I'm Eileen, and the shirt was inspired by my experiences. I put words that my foster parents have been to me, and words that I feel like every family should be.
She also loves to bake. That's why we were at Salt in Newton hanging out with Chef Tiago.
All right, so this meringue now is going to go into here. Okay? So you have your meringue, should be nice and fluffy.
And as we were making macarons, not macarons.
You think coconut or no coconut?
Coconut.
I thought coconut too.
I understood why Eileen would be a perfect fit for any forever family. She rolls well with the ups and downs of life.
Sometimes it's a lot tougher than others, but that's kind of just how life is. You're gonna have really tough days sometimes. But I usually just have to pick myself up and put my positive pants on and continue on.
I'm very proud. She's very resilient. I commend her for having to deal with, the trauma.
And she loves being around other kids. And would have to allow Eileen to see her mother and sister.
I would love to have like a little sibling. I have a little sister. She's 10, just turned 10 in December, and she's the most amazing person to be around.
Eileen loves to dance and learns quickly. This I know, because making macarons is no joke.
Those are not the same size, let me tell you.
Yeah, you don't want some of them to come out burnt and some of them to come out.
Some will be overbaked.
Overbaked, yeah.
Right.
It's okay, just use the ones you do.
Yes, exactly. But getting to know Eileen and knowing the positive to any forever family was more than worth it.
I really appreciate you looking at my work and seeing what I feel like a good foster family person or adoptive family is. Thank you.
Oh, I hope that her toughest days are far behind her. She's going to be an incredible fit for a family.
Sweet young woman.
Yep.
And when she said, I just put on my positive pants, that's
right.
Fantastic. Eileen, you can reach out to the Mass Adoption Resources Exchange. You can call them 617-964-MARE, M-A-R-E. You can reach out to them online as well, www.mareinc.org. We're going to have all of this information on our website, WBZ.com. Well, coming up here at 5:30, Rachel Rollins' downfall. She wasn't new to politics, so why did she make so many political mistakes?
And what farmers are doing to protect them tonight's frost. We'll be right back.
With eczema, we're used to this feeling. It's time your skin gets used to a different one with Opzelura. For the treatment of mild to moderate eczema, Opzelura is proven to clear or almost clear skin and significantly reduce itch fast. Opzelura is an on-the-spot cream applied directly to your eczema to help your skin feel less itch, less irritation, and more relief, all without steroids, pills, or injections.
Opzelura can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB or hepatitis B or C. Serious lung infections, skin cancer, blood clots, and low blood cell counts occurred with Opzelura. In people taking JAK inhibitors, serious infections, increased risk of death, lymphoma, other cancers, and major cardiovascular events have occurred. The most common side effect was the common cold.
Discover the feeling of relief at your fingertips with Opzelura, a cream that helps calm itch and clear skin. Ask your dermatologist about Opzelura today.
It's a constant worry. Isabella's blood cancer could come back. Is CAR-T it?
CAR-T is available for some blood cancers. Don't wait. Learn about CAR-T today at letschatcart.com.
Now, live on WBZ TV and streaming on CBS News Boston. This is WBZ News.
Inside the ethics investigation into outgoing U.S. Attorney Rachel Rollins. Watchdogs uncovered evidence of loose talk about pending cases, lying under oath, and leaking private information to the press to help a political ally. And these allegations and others against Rollins prompted her to announce she's going to resign by the end of the week. Thanks for staying with us at 5:30. I'm Chris Tanaka.
And I'm Lisa Hughes. Paul is on a report by an inspector general and the Office of the Special Counsel raised troubling questions. Tonight, WBZ political analyst John Keller asks how and why Rollins would make such fundamental mistakes.
Congratulations,
Rollins' inauguration last year was a triumphant moment for a novice Paul, whose surprise victory in the Suffolk County DA race showcased and political savvy, but her resignation under fire leaves several unsolved mysteries about how and why those qualities deserted her. For instance, here's some vintage caustic Rollins from an interview last summer.
I find it ironic that there are issues with traffic regarding the Long Island Bridge, but have you ever had the pleasure of going to Marina Bay in Quincy? It's gorgeous, and that's where the beautiful people go to spend time on their yachts and drink $17 beverages, which when at my current government job, I can't afford.
One problem? We're seeing a civil rights probe of Quincy's resistance to bridge reconstruction at the time. U.S. attorneys are usually ultra-cautious when they discuss a pending case. Why didn't Rollins ever make that stylistic pivot? Another mystery? In the last 27 years, 2 Massachusetts House speakers have been forced to resign, due in part to lying under oath and illegally accepting free Celtics tickets. Rollins had to know those stories of premature downfall. How could she duplicate politically fatal behavior?
The district attorney, D.A. Hayden, had secured a warrant.
And the biggest question of all, why would Rollins, who has worked collaboratively with Hayden, risk her career by leaking non-public info on him to the press in a failed effort to boost Ricardo Arroyo, who was dumped by other endorsers after stories about past police probes of his behavior?
Okay, so there are a lot of mysteries. Still, we haven't heard from Rollins, but you've covered her career extensively. What do you think happened here?
Lisa, I don't pretend to know her well personally.
Okay.
But this certainly wouldn't be the first time overconfidence proved to be a damaging flaw in a successful person. Rachel Rollins went from relative obscurity to the top federal law enforcement post in the region in really a short period of time. And if she got the idea that that made her untouchable, that's always a formula for disaster sooner or later.
Right. No one is untouchable or above the law. All right, John, thanks. Chris?
All right, good insight there, thanks. Well, teenagers try to make a statement today in Boston without saying a single word. Members of Teen Empowerment Boston held a die-in near the intersection of Washington Street and Columbia Road. They laid on the ground in silence, as you can see, to represent the lives lost to gun violence in their communities. A late-night chase in Linfield ended with a crash on Route. Police say a pickup driver was involved in an accident on the Tobin Bridge but sped off. Well, turns out he went right past a state trooper on patrol. The trooper pursued. The driver got up to 115 miles per hour before he lost control and crashed near the Route 129 overpass. Denny Fernandez de Pina Andrade is now facing several charges, including driving with a suspended license.
Well, now to our next weather alert. Is expected across southern New England, and that's more than an inconvenience. A lot of farmers are really worried about this. WBZ meteorologist Jacob Wyckoff shows us what crops could be at greatest risk.
A next weather alert is in effect for much of the area where we have freeze watches, freeze warnings in place. The big reason, our temperatures are going to dip at or below the freezing mark as soon as you go inland, away from the water. 40 degrees for Boston, but look inland. We're talking temperatures at or below the freezing. Some area farms, we spoke to Parley Farms in Tingsboro. They're really worried about their strawberry crop, very high risk. Their critical temperature they're watching is 30 degrees. They're going to be up all night watering drip irrigation to make sure those strawberries do not freeze. Also in that same boat, blueberries in the upper 20s for that critical temperature. So close to the ground, that cold air kind of settles at the ground. They're at risk too. For us here in England, apples not as big of a risk, but as soon as you go up to the north, pretty high, extreme risk for that apple crop as you go into New Hampshire for potentially catastrophic failure. If you're at home, cover up those plants. You can also water them. Water tends to protect the plants. You can also add some mulch to protect the plants from some cold. In the studio, Jacob Wyckoff, WBZ News.
Good advice. Well, an unsolved mystery has been solved.
How about that? Coming up on WBZ News, how a Netflix reboot helped reunite a missing girl.
Plus, new research that could encourage you to grab a handful of almonds when you're looking for a snack.
WBZ's Next Weather Alert is brought to you by Safety Insurance.
Shingles. Some describe it as an intense burning sensation or an unbearable itch. This and rash can disrupt your life for weeks. It could make your workday feel impossible. The virus that causes shingles is likely already inside of you. If you're 50 years or older, ask your doctor or pharmacist about shingles.
When migraine strikes, you're faced with a choice. Ride it out with the trade-offs of treating or push through the pain and symptoms. With Ubrelvy, there's another option. One dose works fast to pain. Treat it anytime, anywhere, without worrying where you are or if it's too late. Do not take with strong CYP3A4 inhibitors. Allergic reactions to Ubrelvy can happen. Most common side effects were nausea and sleepiness. Migraine pain relief starts with you. Ask about Ubrelvy. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
Signor Mayor, with this tower, I will make Pisa world famous. And you?
You can see towers like this in Rome, in Venice, in Florence.
This one's round.
No, I don't know. Maybe a Red Bull will help you see it from a different slant.
Yes, I got it. We'll build it like this.
Perfetto!
Red Bull gives you wings.
Want more from your vitamins? Get more with Nature's Bounty. From the first ever triple action sleep supplement to daily digestive support, to more wellness solutions every day. Get more with Nature's Bounty.
Avoiding triggers but still get migraine attacks? Qulipta can help prevent migraine attacks. Qulipta gets right to work, keeps attacks away over time. Qulipta is a preventive treatment for episodic migraine. Most common side effects are nausea, constipation, and tiredness. Ask your doctor about Qulipta.
Want to get to some breaking news at Logan. It appears a plane, a small one, has gone off the runway. Sky over the scene right now. And as you can see right there, Massport fire crews are checking things out. Doesn't appear that there's any structural damage to the plane. That's good. Of course, we are looking for solid information on this. When we find out what happens, we'll be sure to pass that along to you online. Lisa.
Well, Chris, the Netflix reboot of Unsolved Mysteries helped reunite a missing girl with her father. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children says someone working at a store in Asheville, North Carolina, who watched the show, spotted Kayla Unbahan. Investigators say 6 years ago, when Kayla was 9, her mother abducted her from the Chicago area. Her mother is now in custody and awaiting extradition to Illinois.
Well, President Biden is on his way to Japan for the G7. On the debt ceiling. Republicans say the president took too much time to start negotiations. Democrats counter. They expect there will be an agreement before the June 1st deadline.
Encouraging that the White House is now engaging seriously with the only counterpart that can help deliver an actual solution. But because it took the president 3 months to start dealing in reality, we now have a time problem.
I asked the Speaker if he agreed that this needed to be a bipartisan, and he said yes. Again, this, I believe, is a promising step in the right direction. Nobody will get everything they want in these discussions, and I hope nobody draws red lines in the sand.
President Biden has appointed 3 aides to lead the negotiations and says he'll be willing to compromise on some elements.
Well, 2002 Olympic figure skating champion Sarah Hughes is running for Congress. The gold medal winner wants to unseat New York Republican Anthony D'Esposito. Her campaign donation website says Hughes' goals include attacking the high cost of living online, getting assault weapons off the street. Hughes graduated from Yale and the University of Pennsylvania Law School. She's now studying at the Stanford Graduate School of Business.
Well, confidence key for the Celtics as we head in tonight's Game 1 at the Garden.
Coming up, the new mantra the team hopes will lead them to victory in the Eastern Conference Finals.
And our weather watchers out there are all getting ready to protect the Gardens overnight tonight as temperatures take a tumble across the region. We're in the 50s right now. Bob and Millis at 57 degrees and says all the annuals covered up in the sunroom. Now we wait, hope crops are not damaged. We'll take another look at that forecast coming up.
At Ariat,
We know our Made Tough work pants will treat you well, because we treat them terrible. We drag them, we toss them, we crush them. We put them through the kind of testing no pair of pants should ever go through. So you can be sure they'll stand up to whatever you put them through. Made Tough, period. Work pants done right, for work done better.
This is my coffee shop. And that's me in my custom shirt from Custom Ink. This week, we moved into a new, bigger space and brought on another employee. To celebrate, I ordered new branded gear for the whole team. Everything was so easy to make with Custom Ink's Design Lab. I just chose my products, added our logo, and placed my order. Our new gear really helps us look and bring your own team together with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
Moderate to severe eczema doesn't care if it's fright night or the big night. Get out in front of it with Sabinco for those who didn't respond to past treatments. Once daily Sabinco proactively treats eczema, whether you're flaring or not.
Sabinco can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check blood tests. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, or are prone to infections. Do not take with medicines that prevent blood clots, serious, sometimes fatal infections, lymphoma, lung, skin, and other cancers. Serious heart-related events and blood clots can happen. People 50 and older with heart disease risk factors have an increased risk of serious heart-related events or death with JAK inhibitors.
Get out in front of eczema. Ask your doctor about Sabinco.
Powerful stories. Impactful investigations.
How many times has your car been stolen?
5 times. And a little bit of fun.
Your spear's in the pool!
On
I guess if we want to use positive adjectives, crisp is a good one to describe today.
That's right. There'll be a time, Eric, when we say low humidity. What was that like?
Yeah, definitely things will change as we head into summer. Tonight, it's really not a big impact if you're not a gardener. If you're a gardener and you've got things out and it's a little bit early, well, we've got a freeze risk away from the coastline. Those freeze warnings are up basically west of 128 tonight. Around the coastline, we'll likely hold on to a breeze a little bit longer, and that'll keep the temperatures just a little bit higher. But we're in the 50s out there. Definitely has that late October outside. The dew points are so low, teens and 20s. In fact, it's so dry that although we might see some temperatures in the 20s to low 30s, there may not be actual frost formation because there's no moisture, not in the air and not in the ground, to form any of that ice. That's how dry this air mass is. So the winds, they're key because the wind keeps the atmosphere mixed, and it's as the winds go calm that we really bottom out temperature-wise. And it should stay breezy through at least midnight. After midnight, you've got that window up until about 5 a.m. Will it get calm enough to really see those coldest temperatures? The interior valleys have the best chance of that happening. We should hold the breeze if you're right along the water throughout the overnight. So here's a look at the temperatures bottoming out near 40 in Boston, about 36 or so toward Cape Ann. But once you head just a little bit west, we're down around that freezing mark, and we should find some 20s in the colder pockets, those interior spots that have a little bit less wind, especially the lower elevations versus the highest ones. And down into southeastern parts of the state, Attleboro at 33, Middleborough around 29. I do think to upper 30s, if not near 40, from mid-Cape outward, as we'll have a little bit more breeze throughout all of the night. The difference between a frost and a freeze: frost can form at about 32 to 36 degrees. A freeze is around 28 to 32. That's what many towns could be looking at tonight. A hard freeze is below 28, and some of the coldest pockets could get there overnight as well. It's not atypical to get frost at this point. Our average final frost is generally mid to late May across most of the area. It's not weekend in central Mass at around 495. That's why we usually don't plant the warmer crops in the vegetable gardens until Memorial Day weekend. So tomorrow, after that cold morning, we'll have a better bounce in the afternoon into the 60s, bright sunshine, lighter winds, still a little breezy, but not like today. And we'll go for mostly lower to a few middle 60s tomorrow. A touch cooler on the south coast. Even more of a bounce on Friday. Bright skies expected, a really pleasant finish to the week. So Friday looks to be a winner. As for the weekend rain, we're watching the latest trends on certain. I can't say that there's high confidence as to when exactly some of the steadiest rain's going to be here. It's been looking like late Saturday into Saturday night and maybe even early on Sunday morning before we dry out during the day on Sunday. So Saturday looks unsettled, maybe showery, trending towards steadier rainfall as the day goes on. Sunday, maybe damp early on and then clearing out and much warmer into the upper 70s during the afternoon. As we look at our next 7 days, we're back to pleasant weather next week. In fact, all of next week is likely going to be dry. So Saturday gets in the rain department because we could use it.
Yeah. Tomorrow morning, that's a tough bus stop forecast for the kids.
Yes. Wait, I can't wear shorts? I mean, I guess I'll still probably wear shorts, but a hoodie would be a good idea.
Okay, prep yourself, parents. All right, thanks, Eric. Lisa.
All right, thanks, Chris. Thanks, Eric. Well, Celtics jerseys, what to wear tonight as we begin the first game of the Eastern Conference Finals. Steve joins us live at the Garden. Steve, that place is going to be electric tonight.
It should. No question about that. You ever get the feeling these two teams are just sick of each other? This is Celtics and Heat. This is the third time in the last 4 years these two teams have danced with each other in the Eastern Conference Finals. In fact, Celtics have been to the Eastern Conference Finals 5 out of the last 7 years, so this is nothing new for them. They should be ready. Here's a live look at the scene here inside the Garden right now. It's the calm before the storm, folks. Crowd be amped up again tonight. Joe Mazzulla's getting ready to match wits with Ulster. And he knows he'll need to make the right moves at the right times.
Understanding when it's time to adjust and what to adjust to, you have to, against this team, know exactly what's hurting you. And as good as they are at adjusting, they're just as good at winning the margins and the little things. And so if we don't get back in transition, if we don't value the basketball, if we don't defend without fouling, and we don't rebound, adjustments aren't going to matter.
By the way, Joe Mazzulla was out here about an hour ago getting up some shots himself. Hey, whatever it takes to be ready for the conference finals. Just keep the coach loose. Keep the coach loose. Joining me now is our own Danny Roach. I got the Celtics in 7. What do you got them in?
I'll take 6 or 7, Steve. I think they're playing really well. I think they're the better team, but the Celtics, a couple hiccups along the way. In the meantime, when you look into tonight, game 1, how both teams are feeling, 2 words come to mind: confident as well as, well, respect. The mood was upbeat at their as they ready for tonight's game 1.
Feeling good, man. Feeling confident in my team. We're happy to still be playing, man. Looking to take advantage of this opportunity.
As for the Heat, playoff Jimmy Butler is a handful, averaging 31 points per game in the postseason. As an 8 seed, Miami has nothing to lose, and they have a strong belief in themselves.
Everybody's confident. I don't even know if overconfident is what you would call it, but it's a thing. And some incredible basketballs.
The Celtics are a confident bunch too, and they know they're the favorite right now to win the NBA title. But the mantra they've been using, no assuming.
We try not to feed into the hype that we see in the media at all. We try to keep everything within us, and we know nothing's going to be given us, so there's no assuming.
Meanwhile, after Jaylen Brown called out the Garden crowd prior to Game 7, the crowd was electric, something both sides welcome.
Plans for this one starting out?
Just come with it, bring that same energy, bring the juice.
I think it was great for JB to challenge them like that, but they bring it every game, man, so it's no surprise they'll bring it for this series.
Our guys love these kind of competitive environments. This is one of the best places to compete. The fan base is so passionate. You definitely feel alive.
Now, Steve, one thing to keep an eye on, the Celtics dropped Game 1 to the Heat in the 2 previous meetings, the meeting 3 out of the last 4 years. So that and the Sixers series, they much tougher for them. Game 1 tonight, like you said, I think critical for the Celtics. If they can get it, they're in great shape.
Absolutely. You've got to come out on fire.
Yes. Pick it up where you left off.
Exactly. Ride that momentum. All right, Roach, thank you very much. It was Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals last night. Lakers and Nuggets and Denver in the Mile High City. Nikola Jokic with another monster game, 33 points, 21 boards, 14 assists. Lakers, they tried to stay close but couldn't keep up. Denver wins at 132-126 and takes a 1-0 series lead. It's not the only game in town, by the way. The Red Sox have taken on the Seattle Mariners as they wrap up the series over at Fenway Park. That's the story now. We have much more coming up at 6. Guys, back to you.
All right. Sounds great. Steve, thanks. Well, could yearly flu shots soon become a thing of the past?
How about that? Coming up, the new type of vaccine in the works that really could be a game changer.
Having a family is one of life's
and biggest responsibility. At Colonial Penn, we understand how important it is to take care of the people you love at any age, on any budget. That's why we were among the first to guarantee life insurance for men and women over age 50. Acceptance is guaranteed for everyone between the ages of 50 and 85 without exception. Get the peace of mind that comes with knowing your loved ones will have help with the bills you leave behind.
Visit colonialpenn.com.
Adventure on a deeper level. The Subaru Forester Wilderness. Dog tested, dog approved. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru.
We had a 6-hour layover in Rome, which was just if we skipped the line. When in Rome, do not waste any time. One app, over 300,000 travel experiences you'll remember. Do more with Viator.
Whopper, build your Whopper, barbecue, bacon, more cheese, no shocker. However you like to top your Whopper, you know what we'll say. At BK, have it your way.
Every industry, they are drowning in data.
Whoever has this info controls everything.
Be thorough, be ruthless.
You're not a killer.
You said he wasn't going to do this again.
I know I would love this. Wouldn't it be great to get a flu shot that could last for years? Well, Dr. Malika Marshall is here, and doctor, researchers are actually working on this, a universal flu vaccine?
Right. They've been working on this for a while, but we're getting closer and closer because right now scientists have to predict which flu strains will be circulating in the fall and winter and include in the annual shot. Some years it works well, but other years not so much. So now the National Institutes of Health has developed an experimental universal flu vaccine which would, in theory, ward off a wide variety of flu strains and hopefully provide long-term protection so we wouldn't have to get vaccinated every single year. Duke University started enrolling patients in a phase 1 clinical trial of the shot to determine if it's safe and if it actually can induce an immune response against the flu. Now, this vaccine uses messenger RNA like the Pfizer vaccines. There actually is another type of universal flu vaccine that's also in the works. So hopefully soon we'll hear some more good news about both of them.
But this isn't imminent, though, right?
No.
Down the road.
Down the road.
Yeah. All right, how about this? Replacing unhealthy snacks with almonds could be good for your health, but without expanding the waistline.
You like almonds?
I do.
I do too.
Yeah.
You know, almonds, as we know, are packed with tons of nutrients, but there are some people that are afraid that eating too many of them could actually cause them to gain weight.
Sure.
Well, a team of researchers in New Zealand randomly assigned 136 non-obese people to receive the same almonds or cookies every day for 1 year. Now, while there were no significant differences in body weight between the two groups, consumed more daily protein, more good fat, fiber, and minerals and vitamins, and they ate fewer carbohydrates and sugar than the cookie group. So they concluded that almonds can be incorporated into the diets of snackers to improve diet quality without actually causing them.
It's fascinating. I would like to hear the data on the benefits of the cookie group.
The cookie group. And it was 42 almonds a day. So that's a significant number of almonds.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so the joy of almonds, but no almond joys.
There you go. Oh, if you can pick the almonds out of them and eat the chocolate.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right, Chris, thanks. Thanks, Doctor. We have much more still ahead. The news at 6 o'clock starts now.
Now at 6, election interference. New details about what led to Rachel Rollins' sudden resignation.
Why investigators say she abused and violated her position of power.
Some early gardens and plantings at risk tonight with frost in the area. We'll take a look at some of those coldest pockets and how quickly we'll rebound for the end of the week.
Beating the heat.
The Celtics plan to take on Miami here at the Garden.
A window washer rescue. The dramatic scene as a man dangles several stories in the air.
And setting the stage. How Foxborough is bracing for Taylor Swift and her surge of fans.
Now, live on WBZ TV and streaming on CBS News Boston. This is WBZ News.
We begin at 6 with new information on breaking news. This is a Cape Air plane that's off the runway at Logan Airport. It went off the runway about a half an hour ago. You can see it there on the grass. Massport is now telling us there were 2 people on board. The plane experienced a gear issue. No one was hurt. The plane is now going to be towed to the gate area. Firefighters are there. They're on scene, though, just as a precaution. We don't know if the 2 people on board were both crew members or whether one was a passenger. We are working to get new information, and as we do, we will be sure to pass it along.
Also tonight, a scathing new report accuses U.S. Attorney Rachel Rollins of interfering in the Suffolk County DA's election and then lying about it under oath. The findings are forcing Rollins out of her job. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Wade.
I'm Lisa Hughes. One of the agencies investigating Rollins, special counsel, calls the violations the most egregious it has ever investigated. Investigators say Rollins leaked confidential information to a reporter at the Boston Herald to try to influence the primary for Suffolk County District Attorney. Our team coverage into the bombshell reports begins with WBZ's Beth Germano and a closer look at what's been uncovered.
I have to read this report to figure out what's in it, what the crux of it is.
The twin reports provide insight into the abrupt resignation announcement from U.S. Attorney Rachel Rollins. Among the findings, that she tried to influence the campaign for Suffolk County District Attorney in favor of her preferred candidate, City Councilor Ricardo Arroyo, over Kevin Hayden. Not just exchanging phone calls and more than 380 texts, but allegedly leaking non-public information to news outlets that the reports say left the impression the Department of Justice would be investigating Hayden for corruption.
This particular campaign suffered from a number of directions.
Did you exchange text messages with her?
I've talked to Rachel a number of times.
About your campaign?
About everything. I've talked to her about life, I've talked to her about family, I've talked to her about the campaign.
Among the texts, she told Arroyo, this job needs a leader. He is a buffoon. The reports also say she may have violated federal law by attending a private fundraiser for First Lady Jill Biden and used her position to obtain 30 Celtics tickets for youth basketball players, keeping 2 for herself, and improperly using a subordinate's time to coordinate the Celtics event, even after Rollins was informed that she could not use any office resources for.
Known her to be a strong leader in our city on many issues.
The U.S. Attorney's Office is strong. There are so many great people who are working in that office.
City and state leaders say they've yet to read the lengthy report, which is a sharp rebuke to Rollins, the first woman of color to serve as the state's top federal prosecutor, with a progressive approach to transforming the criminal justice system. But it's left many stunned.
I find all of this incredibly sad. Rachel is someone who was a friend of mine.
In a statement, Rachel Rollins' attorney said Ms. Rollins moved from being an elected official with virtually on her activities to the highly regulated environment of the U.S. Attorney's Office. Most of the allegations amount to minor process fouls. She submits her letter of resignation on Friday, telling her office she had become a distraction. Outside the federal courthouse, I'm Beth Germano, WBZ News.
All right, so she'll be resigning as of Friday, and the fallout from the investigation could have more consequences.
WBZ's chief investigator Cheryl Fiandaca picks up our team.